channel after news channel after news channel. Ever wonder why they report the same news? This is Wake Up America.
Brought to you by Citizen Stringer.
The media has become absolute lunacy. What makes us different? We just tell the truth. Daily headlines, politics, social issues, focusing on headlines that the mainstream media ignores. Conservative to the core and honest, sometimes to a fault. Unapologetically American. Welcome to Wake Up America with your host, Stephen Oatley.
Well, good morning, fellow give-a-shitters. I like that comment. That was probably one of the best comments that I've seen so far this morning. So I'm happy. I don't know where it went. It deleted. I didn't take it down. But someone wrote that on Facebook. Good morning, fellow give-a-shitters. Because, well, that's apparently what happens. Welcome to Wake Up America. I normally do this show recorded, but I just don't have time. I'm too busy printing mugs and doing everything that I need to do every single day, to make a living and do all that. So I didn't have time to pre-record stuff this morning because I was printing the designs for the mega mugs, which hopefully I will get all printed today. I'm waiting on the packaging to be delivered. They attempted yesterday, but I wasn't here and they didn't leave it, even though I put a note on the door. Anyway, let's just get into some of the big news stories of the day. Obviously, our lead off this morning is breaking news. DeSantis flew a bunch of Venezuelan migrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard, one of the richest areas in Cape Cod, where actually I'm from. That's a little known fact. You guys didn't know that I'm from Cape Cod. Yes, I am. I am. Hardly the most famous person from that region, but it's very beautiful. I haven't been back in years. I went there like 10 years ago to get my birth certificate for something. I don't remember. And I went to the court clerk in Hyannis or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, he flew a bunch of migrants there, and the Democrats are losing their darn minds this morning. Many are calling for the federal government to step in and arrest DeSantis for federal human smuggling or human trafficking because they're so dumb that they don't understand that these people didn't actually come from Venezuela. He didn't charter planes from Venezuela and drop them off in Martha's Vineyard. No, what he did is he chartered planes from Texas and dropped them off in Martha's Vineyard. Which to be honest, I think this has gone a little bit too far. I understand the premise of why they're doing this. But even today, Governor Abbott sent 2 buses of migrants from Texas, again, not from Venezuela or South America, no, from Texas, to the residence of Kamala Harris. And I understand the idea of doing that. Kamala Harris 2 days ago said our border's secure. He proved that is patently false by dropping off busloads of migrants outside of her doorstep this morning. Fox News has been reporting on it like crazy, but Dems are calling for the arrest of Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis, saying that they are trafficking humans. Which, if you want to make that argument, wouldn't you arrest Joe Biden, who has trafficked roughly 3.3 million migrants across the United States since, he took office? They don't want to pay attention to those things, because then you have to look at it. Wouldn't you just say, well, wouldn't Mayorkas, the director of Homeland Security, wouldn't he be guilty of human smuggling? No, I understand why they're saying it, because they're stupid and they don't understand that these migrants are already in the United States, and they're missing the hypocrisy of the whole thing. Because that's truly what it is it's a everyone's getting a big dose of hypocrisy today. Because apparently when the migrants hit their doorsteps, they get really pissed off about it. Even though, communities in Texas have been really pissed off for a long time because the federal government doesn't seem to want to secure our southern borders, let alone for whatever reason. Obviously, the border is one of the most hot topics right now in the midterm races. Even Carrie Lake, who's running for governor of Arizona, I believe, even she is coming under fire. She made statements the other day talking about how people that are using our lax border security to smuggle drugs and fentanyl, and rapists are coming across the border. To which, it's like out of the media's playbook for what they used to do to Donald Trump. They are equating her statements saying that drug smugglers are coming across the border and rapists are coming across the border as saying that is what every single migrant who is crossing the border. And so Carrie Lake actually, or someone from her team, just posted on social media requests from Arizona Central, media requests from Arizona Central, asking her to confirm that she was in fact talking about all migrants who are crossing the southern border, because they are so stupid that they can't understand that not all migrants that are crossing the southern border are carrying drugs or are rapists. They are all committing an illegal act. They are all acting in violation of U.S. law. I mean, let's be honest. They are all, by definition, criminals for crossing into the United States. We can make that argument, right? Because it's a crime to illegally enter the United States. We know that. And every single person that's crossing the border, that's not walking across a border crossing, declaring asylum, every person who is illegally entering the United States border, whether it's crossing a river, jumping over a fence, or walking through the desert, they're all committing crimes. So by definition, they are all criminals, right? I've long maintained that our government needs to do something quite a bit more to make it so people can, legally cross into the United States. So we have a system in place where we can make them taxpayers. Because if you think about it, say 3.3 million people cross into the United States, none of which are permitted to work. Say they are permitted to work and they all have to pay taxes on that income. The tax burden for, say, you and me, right, as it likely would go down. Isn't that how that works? I mean, probably not. But if they have all these new revenues, sales taxes will continue to increase, or the revenues from sales tax will continue to increase and everything else. But not a lot of people like to pay attention to anything rational thought like that. In a lot of other Republicans are like, no, we got to lock down the border. Obviously, the first step to making a leaner path to citizenship here in the United States would include building a wall, or whether it's virtual or whatever, to stop people from entering in the United States so that you can process them the right way. The majority of the people that are crossing into the United States are people that are committing crimes. Actually, all of them are committing crimes. But other than committing the initial crime of crossing into the United States, these are law-abiding citizens that are looking for what America is supposed to be and what America is supposed to give. It's supposed to be the land of opportunity, giving you opportunities to be successful in this country. Unfortunately, it's not. Unfortunately, right now, it's not. Inflation is through the roof. The Dow yesterday, I think, closed up 30 points. I'm not quite sure where it is today. 2 days ago, it closed down 1,200 points. So we'll have to see what is going to it's up 77 points today. So it's making a rebound. Hooray. But, I'm not a big fan of dropping them off in the buses. I think the initial first approach was it garnished the attention. Obviously, now there's a tremendous amount of media attention. It even showed it on our local news, even though we're in the DC metro area. It showed it on our local news this morning, which a lot of the stuff they didn't shoot. Yeah, or they didn't show. Like, they showed that there were 5 shootings across the city last night, but they often don't do that, like if it's a solo shooting. So that, mainstream media picks and chooses what news they're going to show. So I was kind of surprised to see that mainstream media or our local news this morning did pick up the story that they were dropping off migrants. And they even talked about the Martha's Vineyard one as well, saying DeSantis chartered those planes, which I'm not quite sure why DeSantis would do that, other than to just, get that political credibility. Because unless these migrants were destined from Florida, he didn't transport them from Florida. From what I understand, he didn't transport them from Florida to Martha's Vineyard. No, he transported them from Texas to Martha's Vineyard, with Florida taxpayers footing that bill, which is kind of interesting when you think about it. And there's a lot of stuff that's coming out. A lot of these leftist channels are saying there's some random woman that was telling people they're going to go and get worker visas if they get on the plane, allegedly. None of that's even verified. And the majority of the people that are highlighting those statements are the ones that are on the left anyway. So you can't really believe anything they say. But that's kind of interesting when you think about it. In terms of other interesting stories so far this morning, there was 2 mass shootings yesterday, one in Milwaukee, one in Los Angeles. We'll start off first with Los Angeles. 4 people were injured in a shooting Wednesday afternoon near a park in Skid Row, according to Los Angeles Police Department. The shooting happened just after 1:30 p.m. near the corner of San Julian Park at 5th and San Julian Streets, said Officer Tony Im, a spokesperson for the LAPD. Suspect wearing a black jacket and black jeans ran from the area. Notice they don't give like the accurate description. They say black jeans, black sweatshirt, ran, and that's it. The LAPD identified the suspect only as a 20-year-old man who is still at large as of last night. All of the victims were taken to local hospitals. 2 are in their 20s and are in critical condition. The other 2 were aged 20 and 50. Were in stable condition. So that's out of Los Angeles yesterday, a mass shooting. That's not going to make the news. You're not going to hear about that anywhere. You know, if this was a mass shooting in Martha's Vineyard and the victims were white, you would hear about it. But for some reason, because they're black, nobody cares. And it's outrageous. But you know what? And we're going to report that every single day. Every single day on this show, Wake Up America, we will talk about the mass shootings that happened the previous day. Occasionally there won't be one, so that's nice, you know. And we'll kind of bask. Maybe we'll make a special song where we could say, "Oh, America's turning. There's no mass shootings today. This is great. Let's all celebrate, or whatever that song is. Maybe we'll do that. We'll play that song when there's no mass shootings that one day. But then what do you do when there's 2 mass shootings? Because like today we have 2. There's one in Milwaukee last night or yesterday morning actually. Around 1:41 a.m. to be precise, not around. It was at 1:41 a.m. in the 1300 block of East Hamilton Street. A 23-year-old man, a 29-year-old Milwaukee male, a 36-year-old female, all sustained serious but non-fatal injuries. There's a 4th one who sustained life-threatening injuries. He was a 28-year-old male. He was transported to the hospital. The circumstances surrounding the shooting are under investigation. They don't have any suspect information, but they want everybody to know. This is very important. They want everybody to know that the Milwaukee police are continuing to continuing to investigate and search for the unknown, unnamed, undescribed suspect suspects who apparently committed the shooting. You rest assured, Milwaukee police are on top of it, even though they won't put out any information regarding the suspect. Now, we all know why they're not going to put out any information on the suspect, because more than likely the suspect is a minority as well, because that's how these mass shootings go. And I know a lot of you guys, if you're on the left and you're watching this for the first time, you're probably like, what the hell? What is Steve talking about all the time? What is he talking about? He's talking about mass shootings and how the majority of the victims are white and the majority of the offender, or the majority of the victims are minority and the majority of the offenders are minorities. That doesn't make any sense. CNN says the majority of mass shooters are using AR-15s or between the age of 16 and 18 and are minors. Well, that's not actually true. None of it's actually true, what I just said. None of it. Because the majority of mass shooters are between the age of 16 and 22. The majority of the mass shooters are not white, and the majority of mass shooters are not using AR-15s. In fact, less than 10% are using AR-15s. And something's going on with my computer, and it's just sending me notification after notification, which I'm assuming you guys hear. Let me see if I can clear all of them so it stops doing that. But yeah, we just like to report the truth here at Citizen Stringer and Wake Up America. So, you get used to it, because I plan on doing this quick show every single day. Other news stories, Biden this morning. This was also on my local news, and it's national news. Apparently, Biden and his team of non-existent morons, Marty Walsh and the rest of those idiots, they worked through the night to get to a tentative deal, a tentative railway labor agreement tonight, averting a strike that could have been devastating to the economy before pivotal midterm elections. So likely we're going to hear some big, speech from President Biden today, where he's going to get up there and he's going to talk about how his team and under his grand leadership, they averted the strike, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a big fan of strikes in general. That's why I'm not a big fan of unions, but I'm not a big fan of strikes because I feel like and to be honest, most of the people that are doing these strikes are already getting paid way more than what they, not what they deserve, but way more than the average mean and all that stuff, which is the same here. Anyway, railroads and union representatives had been in negotiations for 20 hours with the Labor Department on Wednesday to hammer out a deal, as there was a risk of a strike starting on Friday that could have shut rail lines down across the country. Biden, apparently, look at this. Biden made a key phone call to Labor Secretary Marty Walsh at 9 p.m. as the talks were ongoing after Italian dinner had been brought in, according to the White House official who spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity to discuss closed locations because, well, they can't talk. But of course, this Biden administration is filled with leakers to the press, normally who report bullshit. So if you go under that premise, maybe this isn't even a real deal. Maybe the person that was saying they had a deal was lying. Who knows? Who cares, really? Anyway, but, Biden apparently made this incredibly important phone call to Marty Walsh at 9 o'clock. And then all of a sudden, everything was relieved. And these rail workers now will get better pay, improving working conditions, and peace of mind around their health care costs, all hard earned, according to Biden. The agreement is also a victory for railway companies who will be able to retain and recruit more workers for an industry that will continue to be part of the backbone of the America, blah, 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 as it has been for a long time. Here's the thing, where's all the money going? Where's all the money going? A rail container ship from California to New Jersey used to cost around $2,500, maybe, when I was, actively brokering freight. It wasn't, it costs quite a bit more now. Rail cars cost quite a bit more. They can't get enough chassis all over the place. Where is all that money if all these workers and the railroad workers aren't making it? That's what that's what I want to know. Someone said the audio is breaking up. I can't help it. Sorry, it's probably your Obama phone. Anyway, and it looks like it's Twitch. So that's just Twitch that does that. I think we're good everywhere else, hopefully. If audio is breaking up for you on YouTube, press 1. If not, don't press anything. I don't care, really. Another story that I wanted to talk about real quick is, you guys may remember, anyone who's watched my show for a while, you may remember a couple of weeks ago, I talked about this El Paso teacher, right? I think I actually made a special video for this one. There's an El Paso teacher who who apparently made a statement. They were going through some book about Odyssey or something like that. They were going through some, a debate, a 10th grade English class. They were going through a debate about something, and someone said that someone in the book was a pedophile because they were, 70 plus years old and dating a younger person. And she said, you can't call them pedophiles. You got to call them minor attracted persons, blah, blah, blah. Remember that statement? Well, it turns out it was a debate, and there was a lot more to the little 18-second clip that was posted out. I had the same, level of outrage as everybody else would have had, right? Where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe a teacher did that, until I actually, until April and I started digging into it a little bit. And then we realized, holy crap, there's quite a bit more to it. And I got it before it was viral, and I talked about it before it was viral. And of course, my premonition on what was going to happen, my forward-looking ability to find out, I realized that it doesn't matter that this lady was sparking debate, and all of the students knew that, and many of the students actually came to her defense. That didn't matter. The right-wing nut jobs out there that are just so focused on finding teachers that don't align with the simplistic values that they endure, it didn't matter what the backstory is. It didn't matter what the intention of the conversation was. It didn't matter that it was a debate. Nothing mattered to them except that a teacher during a debate said, you can't call them pedophiles. You have to call them minor attractive persons. You can't say pedophile. When she said that statement, her career ended. And I said that during the show. I said it didn't matter. They're still going to go after her. It doesn't matter the context, whatever. And she will likely be fired and her life will be ruined. Well, guess what came to fruition? The school board just voted to fire her. And I knew it was going to happen. I said it was going to happen. And yeah. And all for what? All for what? All for what? But someone said, I hear something connecting and disconnecting. Yeah, you will. But I told you it was going to happen. Someone said right-wing extremists. Did I say right-wing extremists? Well, and here's the thing. I do believe there are right-wing extremists, but I don't believe in the same sense that mainstream media and everybody. What I mean is that people that are here just stoking the fire, right? Let's take Little Mermaid, for example. So many people are outraged because they put Halle Berry in there instead of a white person. Everyone's like, oh, Disney went woke, blah, 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 blah. The Little Mermaid is not real. I mean, even my wife and I were having a conversation about this morning, and I'm like, can you believe this outrage from the right that Disney had the audacity to recast the Little Mermaid and make it from a white mermaid to a black mermaid? Here's a newsflash. Mermaids are not real. Who gives a fuck if it's a white mermaid or a black mermaid? I don't care. Nobody else should, but everybody does, apparently. Everybody does care, and it's super important to everybody that they cast a white mermaid because that's what Hans Christian Andersen or whoever the hell wrote the mermaid thing said it has to be. It's got to be a white mermaid, even though the guy that wrote The Little Mermaid was from Denmark, where the majority of the people were white. And so people are like, well, let's keep it white. Who fucking cares? That's what I'm saying is so many people latch onto something and run with it just to get content, just to get, I believe half of the people that are the big figureheads on the right that are advocating against CRT and this and that and this and that, all these same people, I don't believe they even care about conservatism. I think it's all about promoting their books, promoting their channels, promoting their podcasts and all that stuff. And that's my belief, that's my belief. And it's really sad. It's really sad. But, who knows? Mermaids should be green, and then it wouldn't be a damn problem. Like who's the guy? Matt Walsh. He made the statement on social media, and the left is like going after him, right? Because he said, "Listen, scientifically, if you want to cast a member, they got to be translucent, right? Because he's like they live all the way at the bottom of the ocean, right? So if you look at actual fish and organisms that live in the ocean." So deep, they're kind of translucent, right? You can see their bones and skeletons and all that because they never have any exposure to light. And so he made like a stupid statement like that. And of course, all the leftist morons are jumping all over him for saying it. And then he's just like going further and further and further because he's getting the publicity. Hell, Newsweek did an article on him. Everybody's doing it. And it's crazy. Hold on one second. Hello. Good. I got to call you back. All right. Give me like 20 minutes. I'm live right now. Bye. Realtors. Anyway, but yeah, it's really crazy. Everything that's going on in this country. I answer local numbers. I know you guys are probably like, wow, Steve, that was rude. Why are you answering? I have kids that go to school here. If I see a local number call, I answer, and then that's how it does it. Normally I throw up a commercial or something, but I'm on a roll now and I don't want to. So whatever. Deal with it. But yeah, isn't it crazy? Everybody's always like freaking out about everything. Little Mermaid this, Little Mermaid that. What about Aladdin? How come, people just want to just complain about stuff. And maybe they'll cancel The Little Mermaid next. Maybe that'll be canceled. I just frankly don't care who they cast in some stupid ass cartoon or AI show or what. Mermaids are not real. Mermaids are not real. Like if you want to give criticism, right? Because if you look at the original picture of The Little Mermaid, you could see there was water and stuff in it. And then the new pictures, clearly when they're sitting there and the Halle Berry's looking up like that or what, I think it's Halle Berry. I don't know. But when they're looking up like that, there's no water. Like you could at least like make it look like the hair is flowing in fake water or something like that. If you want to be realistic, okay? Because everyone's saying, oh, you got to be realistic. We got to cast this person. We got to cast a white person or a black person. Who gives a shit? Cast whoever's best at singing the stupid Little Mermaid song because a mermaid's not real. It's like saying Shrek shouldn't be purple because that offends everybody that wishes they were purple. Who gives a shit? It's crazy. It's crazy. But a lot of people just constantly do it. The true Kathy must be new here because she said, it sounds like you're freaking out a little. This is how I talk. So you may not like it. You may just be like, holy crap, this guy's I own a coffee company. I drink entirely too much coffee every day, and I'll continue to do so. And you should check it out. It's the best coffee you've ever had. Guarantee it, Kathy. Maybe I should make a code in honor of you where you have to pay 10% more. So it's just for you, Kathy. I'll make a code, Kathy, where it adds 15% of your sale. Anyway. But that's going to do it for this episode of Wake Up America. Wake Up America Now, the podcast, is just a quick look into the news stories of the day, the headlines that we think you should care about. And you may not, and that's fine, but we provide a different context. Normally, I try not to get political on this show. If you like the political spin, watch the show at night, The Rational American. That's way more political. I'll kind of tone it down. See, this is why it's hard when I'm live, because I try not to be political. I try not to be opinionated, and I can't. So that's why I like doing the recorded episodes, because it takes me a long time, because I'll do like 10 different minutes on a 1 minute news thing. And then I'll edit out all the opinion just to make it a little bit more honest. But someone said, I thought Shrek was green. Well, don't judge me. I'm colorblind. Not really. I'm not, but I thought it was purple, but because I don't really care about cartoons. Who would have thought that? Anyway, what you can do, everybody, if you want to support it tomorrow, we're actually leaving around 12 o'clock, probably. because it's not as far as I thought. And going to Youngstown, Ohio for the Save America rally. We're going to go out there. We'll have some coffee in the morning and all that stuff. I'm going to make the Freedom blend. I'm going to white label that into the Save America blend. And so we'll have those little packs available for sale as an effort to try to pay for everything. And then we'll be live outside the rally until the rally does begin. And then we'll probably start heading home. And then we will have the rally on citizenstringer.tv. If you want to watch it, as long as I can do it from my car and have internet and all that stuff, it should be good. But if you want to support us in what we do and bringing you the news and all that, it's very important. And this is very important. If you're watching on YouTube, you could do something super easy. You could send thanks. Like on the video on the main YouTube page at Steve Oatley, you can send thanks, which is kind of like a super chat, but they take 30%. You could do that, or you could visit citizenstringer.com/support. Go to puretruthcoffee.com and buy some coffee, buy some shirts. We have a clearance section. There's going to be even more shit on there today. Everyone who ordered in the past 2 days, your orders are going out today. I already packaged them, all the shirts and all that. So those will be going out when I go home for lunch as soon as I'm done with this video. So I appreciate you guys. We need your support. You're going to hear me talk about it a lot more. I hate doing it, to be honest, but we need it. We have a goal that we have to set every day. Otherwise, we essentially, and that goal is super lean, which it shouldn't be. I should make it more. So because if we miss a day of that goal, then we're fucked. You know what I mean? And we have to work harder later. But yeah, Youngstown, Ohio. I will be there all day. I'll find a place to set up coffee. We'll give away coffee in the morning, and then we'll go from there. You know, and I'll be out there with a camera, and we'll do some interviews and stuff like that. Kate said, are there any hearings today? Yeah, there may be hearings, and I'll look at them, and they will be on Citizen Stringer. They will not be on social media because I don't want to deal with it. Because if Citizen Stringer goes dead for the day, a citizenstringer.tv, if that goes dead, the people in there just chat, because we have a chat room on our own live streaming platform. So make sure you become a member on citizenstringer.tv as well. We show our riot footage every night from the 2 years previous. And it's a good time. It's a good time. Everyone hangs out over there all the time. Right now, 24 people in the chat just shooting the shit. Like James over there, he's like, good morning, captured pink. Whatever the fuck that means. I have no idea. Amy's like, wait, they're not twins? And then Pink Foo says Shrek is the Hulk's ugly cousin, which makes sense, you know, when you think about it, because he is quite ugly. Doesn't he have like shit out, you know, warts coming out of his face and stuff? Yeah. I mean, engaging conversation on citizenstringer.tv. Engaging conversation. Let's see what committee meetings. Ooh, what did I do? I pressed a button. Let me see if there are any committee meetings worth checking out, because this will let you know if I am going to put anything on Citizen Stringer TV for committee meetings. Thursday, what time is it? 10:30. So there's a review of the Farm Bill, back to school, back to startup, supporting youth apprenticeship entrepreneur. Nope. Recovery status, 5 years of recovery efforts. No. Veteran readiness and employment, is the VA succeeding? That's a subcommittee meeting, so no. Building our baseline, securing industrial control systems against cyber attacks. Maybe. Also subcommittee meeting. I don't like those because they are over really quick and I can't do it. An oversight hearing to examine securities and exchange. Interesting. Preparing America's healthcare infrastructure, climate crisis bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Nope. Probably nothing. So what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to play my show from last night on Citizen Stringer, and everyone else will see you tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, for a brand new episode of The Rational American. Goodbye. See, I no longer say F you at the end of the night because people took offense to it. So now I just say goodbye, like this. Goodbye.